The psychology of people who apologize for existing. Some people do not only apologize when they make a mistake. They apologize for speaking, for needing something, for taking too long, for asking a question, for having feelings, for being tired, for being confused, for walking into a room at the wrong time, for being too quiet, for being too much, for simply existing in a space where they are afraid they might inconvenience someone. They say sorry before they even know what they did wrong. Sorry? Can I ask something? Sorry. I know this is stupid. Sorry. I'm probably bothering you. Sorry. I'll be quick. Sorry, never mind. And from the outside, people may think they are just polite, kind, careful, considerate. But sometimes, constant apologizing is not manners. It is fear. It is the body trying to stay safe. It is a nervous system that learned somewhere along the way that being noticed could become dangerous, that having needs could make people angry, that taking up space could lead to rejection, that asking for help could make someone sigh, criticize, or pull away. So they learned to shrink before anyone asked them to. They learned to soften their words before speaking. They learned to make themselves smaller, lighter, easier, quieter. Not because they had no personality, not because they had no confidence, but because at some point they were taught that their presence had a cost. Maybe they grew up in a home where love depended on mood, where they had to check someone's face before speaking, where one parent's silence could change the whole atmosphere, where asking for something simple felt like interrupting a storm. Maybe they were told they were too sensitive, too loud, too needy, too emotional, too dramatic, too difficult. Maybe every normal human need was treated like a problem. A child asks for comfort, and someone says, "Stop crying." A child asks a question, and someone says, "Don't bother me." A child makes a mistake, and someone reacts like it is a personal attack. A child shows emotion, and someone makes them feel ashamed for feeling at all. So the child starts to believe, my needs are annoying. My feelings are too much. My presence creates problems. I have to apologize before someone gets upset. And when that child grows up, the pattern does not simply disappear. It becomes part of how they move through the world. They apologize before entering conversations. They apologize when they do not understand something. They apologize when someone else bumps into them. They apologize for replying late, even when they were exhausted. They apologize for saying no, even when they had every right to. They apologize for setting boundaries, even when the boundary is healthy. Because deep inside, a part of them still believes that peace depends on their ability to not disturb anyone. And that is the painful thing about people who apologize for existing. They are often not trying to manipulate anyone. They are not trying to look innocent. They are not trying to make everything about themselves. They are trying to prevent emotional danger. They are trying to make sure no one gets disappointed. No one gets angry. No one leaves. No one thinks they are selfish. No one decides they are too much. Their apology becomes a shield, a way of saying, please do not punish me. Please do not reject me. Please do not think I am a burden. I know I am taking up space, but I promise I am trying to take as little as possible. And this can look like kindness, but inside it feels exhausting, because when you apologize for existing, you are never fully relaxed. You are always monitoring. Did I talk too much? Did I ask too much? Was my message too long? Did my face look upset? Did my silence make them uncomfortable? Did I make the room heavier? Did I ruin the mood? You start editing yourself before anyone even reacts. You cut your stories short. You hide your excitement. You swallow your sadness. You say, it's fine, when it is not fine. You say, no worries. When you are hurt, you say, I understand, when you actually feel abandoned. Because somewhere inside, you learned that being easy to love means being easy to ignore. And that is not love. That is survival. Real love does not require you to disappear. Real connection does not require you to apologize for having a voice, a need, a boundary, a question, a feeling, presence. But when someone has spent years believing they are a burden, even kindness can feel suspicious. Someone says, "You can tell me," and they think, "Are you sure?" Someone says, "You are not bothering me," and they think, "Maybe you are just being nice." Someone says, "You do not have to apologize," and they do not know what to say, because apologizing has become the only way they know how to stay close without feeling guilty. Healing does not happen by simply saying, "Stop apologizing," because the apology is not the root. The fear is the root. The shame is the root. The old belief that says, "I am too much just by being here," is the root. So healing begins slowly. It begins when they notice the apology before it leaves their mouth. It begins when they pause and ask, "Did I actually do something wrong? Or am I apologizing because I feel unsafe? Am I being disrespectful? Or am I just taking up normal human space?" Because there is a difference between accountability and self-erasure. Accountability says, "I hurt you and I care." Self-erasure says, "I am sorry for being a person." Accountability repairs connection. Self-erasure destroys your relationship with yourself. And maybe the first step is not to stop saying sorry completely. Maybe the first step is to replace unnecessary apologies with truth. Instead of, "Sorry for talking so much," say, "Thank you for listening." Instead of, "Sorry I'm bothering you," say, "Do you have a moment?" Instead of, "Sorry I have feelings," say, "This is hard for me to talk about." Instead of, "Sorry I need help," say, "I would appreciate your support." Instead of, "Sorry I exist," say nothing. Just breathe. Stay. Let yourself be in the room without explaining why you deserve to be there. Because you do not have to earn the right to take up space. You do not have to be useful every second to be valuable. You do not have to be quiet to be loved. You do not have to make yourself small to make others comfortable. And the people who truly care about you will not need you to disappear in order to accept you. They will not punish you for having needs. They will not make your emotions feel like a crime. They will not treat your presence like a problem. The truth is, you were never born apologizing. You learned it, which means slowly you can unlearn it. You can learn to speak without shrinking, to ask without shame, to rest without guilt, to exist without constantly checking whether your existence is allowed. And maybe one day, instead of entering every room like you owe everyone an apology, you will enter quietly, gently, fully, not demanding too much, not hiding too much, just being there, and realizing your presence is not a mistake. Your needs are not a crime. Your feelings are not a burden. And you do not have to apologize for being alive.